Hello, it's Mark. Welcome to another episode here at Big Man in the Woods. Now, this is not a normal vlog that I do. Normally, you find me in a scout hall or in a campsite. In fact, I'm in an operating theatre. Why am I here? You'll find out next. So don't worry. There's not an operation going on. It's the end of my shift, end of the day, and I really wanted to talk about this. So one I often get asked about to come and talk to scouts, not just in my group, but in other groups. And I've been doing this for the last month. I've been involved in a scout group in Slough, 10th Slough Scouts. Hey guys. And they asked me to come along and help them with their emergency badge and use my experience in the medical field and in the hospital and teach them first aid and kind of real life first aid stories. It's quite hard, this one, to talk about, because when I did it a year ago with my scouts, the scouts just messed around and they didn't really engage that much, and I was thinking, I've got to really think of how am I teaching emergency aid badge. So when I did it a few months ago with my scouts, I started talking about my stories, what I've seen in A&E, and things that I've been involved with first aid wise. So like the Olympic torch, when it came to where I live in London, a man collapsed in the road, I had to do CPR on him, so I was talking about real life scenarios. And a few months ago, when I was teaching my scouts, the very next day, really bizarre, the very next day I was shopping, and people were screaming for some help. I kind of don't want to get involved, I don't really, people really screaming for help. And to cut a long story short, I jumped in, helped, and I saw a man fall from the top of escalators, cut all his head, gashed his head, blood pouring out, and he fell from the top of escalators all the way down. And at the bottom of the stairs, he had a cardiac arrest, and I done CPR for about 15-20 minutes until the ambulance came. It was absolutely weird, because normally I'm in this environment. I'm in a hospital, I've got my gear, I've got my equipment, I've got a backup team, and here I was doing CPR all on my own. So I was telling the scouts about this story. And then, a few days ago, I got a phone call from an old scout. His dad, sadly, collapsed in the kitchen after his school. He came home and found his dad collapsed in the kitchen. And he had a flashback to when I taught him CPR about 4 or 5 years ago. And he said it was amazing that the skills that I taught him came, and obviously the ambulance were on the phone and teaching, not teaching, but explaining what to do. And he said he remembered the skills that I taught him. Sadly, his dad passed away, not because of what happened. He had other medical conditions and stuff, but he managed to be able to do that and use the skills. Funny, people just walked in. So what was I talking about? So yeah, his dad had some medical conditions, and he died because of that. Well, talking to him, he was kind of proud that he could try to help his dad. And I spoke to him at length and kind of said, well done, this is really cool that you actually did try to do something, it's an amazing thing to do. And I was really touched, and I cried for hours when the scout was telling me. Anyway, so the last 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks, I've been involved in 10th Slough Scouts, teaching them some first aid, and I kind of changed my style, and I was as well as teaching them CPR, I was telling them real stories, what happened to me in the hospital, stabbings, how to deal with stabbings and shootings, epilepsy, all these kind of level 5 stories. And the scouts were okay, they were messing around as you would expect, and wasn't getting that involved, and I was kind of struggling, to be honest, thinking that these scouts are just here just for a DOS, and they're just laughing. Anyway, this is really tough to say. It's emotional, but it's kind of super proud, because one of the scouts I clocked in the corner of my eye, who was just messing around for the whole of the session, wasn't really taking it serious. I asked at the beginning of the session, have you got any stories? Anything happened this week that you had to use your first aid skills for since last week? And this one particular kid who I clocked last week, as I said, was messing around. He put his hand up and he said on Friday it was really bad snow and they had a day off school because of the snow. and he went to the local park. Was messing around on the hill, sledging down, snowball fights and whatever. And then all of a sudden he saw two kids coming down the hill, sledge, and they had collided. One went flying, and him and his mates ran over to the scene. Thankfully, the boys were conscious, so they were awake and talking, but they were in a lot of pain. And he remembered stuff that I taught him. Dr. ABC. So is it safe to attend? He then went up to response, airway, breathing, circulation, that kind of thing. And he realized they would have to start treating shock. He remembered about the Recaro position, but he also remembered something else I taught them about injuries, spinal injuries, and he realized that the kid was complaining about severe lower back pain. So he remembered not to move the patient because of spinal injuries. Open the airway. He called an ambulance. Still no adults were involved. He stayed with the kid. He reassured the kid. He got the other boy's phone, called the parents, explained what happened. About 25 minutes later, the air ambulance came. The other child got carted off in the air ambulance in the helicopter to treat with a spinal injury. And he was telling all this, and I was thinking, you know what? This is amazing, and this is one of the reasons why I love being a scout leader. I taught them some skills that they actually put into practice, real life practice, as skills for life. Something I've been campaigning for years about. First aid should be taught in schools, should be taught from primary. This is like bread and butter, should be taught how to do these things, and it's something I've been wanting to do for years and years and years and years. And through scouts, I've been able to do it. And I've also thought about it, they don't take these skills in, they just sit and just nod and say yes, 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 yes. But this kid confirmed it's working. He told me, he used the skills that I taught him. He remembered about Dr. ABC, he remembered about danger, he remembered how to treat for shock. It was amazing that this kid, he listened. And I was the first one to judge, thinking this kid is just messing around. So, it's a definite skills for life. Scouts is all about skills for life, and this has just made me confirm why I love being a scout leader. I love it. There were days when you think, why am I doing this? This is just does my head in. They don't listen to me, whatever. But you'll be surprised. You'll be so surprised. And the kid that called me and told me about he had to do CPR on his dad, he was a scout. I'm afraid to say he didn't stand out. There was no reason for me to remember him. He did his 4 years as scouts and then left. And that was it. I didn't think of anything. And then I get a phone call out of the blue to say he had to use CPR that I taught him on his own dad. Like, my God, that's so sad. And then the scout from the scout group I've just been working with had to use first aid for real as well. I'm like, oh. It's emotional to talk about, But it's amazing that these kids have got enough confidence to step in and use the skills that I've been, not just me, but the skills that as a scout leader we're teaching them, and they're using for real, in real life. It's a skills for life. And this is why, guys, it's just, this has just made my day, just recapping and rethinking about this. So what I wanted to say is, Scouts, there's a meaning, It's definite. What we're teaching them works. We need to keep promoting Scouts. We need always adult volunteers, but don't give up. As Bear Grylls, our Chief Scout, says, don't give up. Whatever happens, the politics, stuff like that, try and wipe it out. Here at work, there's always politics, and Scouts, it's just one of those things. But remember the reasons why you're doing it. You're doing it for the kids, doing it for the kids. But do you know what I mean? You're trying to help them and make their future better than what it is now, providing them skills, experiences, memories. It's great, isn't it? So, guys, thank you for my little rant. But it does mean a lot, Thinking that first aid is so boring. I know what my scouts are like. I do hear them, I listen to them. But this is just proven. I had 2 stories now to prove that the skills that I've been teaching them have worked because they've done it themselves, It's amazing. It's super proud. And the scout who I'm working with just now, I've put him forward for a commendation award because he stood out. His other mates didn't want to get involved, and this is just amazing that this kid got involved. So hopefully, according to his DC, he has put him forward for an award for bravery and stuff. So it's going to be great that if the scout gets the award, I'll be super proud. Guys, thanks very much once again. As always, it's the begging bit. So please subscribe to my vlogs. If you're loving it, my blogs, check out my website, and I'll put another scout-related video here. So if you like my videos about scouts, check it out. Just ding, 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 ding here. Guys, until next time, thank you very much. Signing out for another vlog. Take care. Bye.